Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm the founder and CEO of the Bobby White Foundation, which by now you guys all know that. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank our sponsors, first off and foremost, Area 52 Media Group. Without John and them, we wouldn't be here. Of course, he had to talk me into it, but now I'm glad that he did. So if you want to do your own show, your own podcast show, whatever you want to call it, please, John's the guy. And of course, my dear friend DeLynn Gaston with the mortgage firm, Anything Mortgages. I can't say enough about her, her experience and expertise. Anything. She'll if she doesn't have the answers, which it's highly unlikely, she will find them for you and help you seamlessly walk through the process of purchasing your home or new home or second home or whatever kind of home you want. So I want to thank her. She's a dear person. So as the show is titled this week, it's just been one of those weeks. We all try to do the best we can all the time, and you think things are, we're doing so good, which I thought I was. I mean, I really was. Over the last weekend, a lot of things needed to be caught up around the house, mostly like outside stuff. And as you know, we just go through these times where sometimes you just don't feel like doing something, and then all of a sudden, I guess I just kind of felt like doing it. But the ironic thing is, it's jobs that Bobby's supposed to be here doing. So we have these. We have this big front yard and a big circle driveway, and the front of the house, I guess, is where the office is, where I am now, the foundation office. So that is the foundation entrance. And I really wanted to clean things up and spruce it up because I was noticing that when my customers were leaving the gallery, going around the circle driveway, it was getting a little overgrown. We have these funky palmettos, and if you live in Florida, you kind of know what I mean. We got all different kinds, but Bobby he would trim them up really, really cool, and they almost look like sculptures. And I hadn't done it in, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years, and I was like, oh man, these things are really not looking good. So I started working on that this weekend, and anybody that's been in Florida this time of year, it has been hot as heck, and we haven't been getting our rains. So been working out there, was working out there in the daytime, super hot, super sweaty. But I trimmed, we got 3, there's 4, the 4th one's never ever been really done right, but there's one right in front of the foundation office, and then there's 2 out in the front part of the yard on the other side of the circle drive where the flagpole is and stuff. And all weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I worked and got them all trimmed up. I didn't trim them I wouldn't say as badly as Bobby, but as close as Bobby would, because the little tops of him, he'd leave like 1 or 2 little spurs sticking up. I left a little bit more on there. Still have a little bit of tweaking to do, but it looks so good. And just was like exhausted. And even was it Sunday? Got everything all cleaned up. Sunday evening, power washed the front of the office entrance, which is the front of the house. Power washed the walkways and driveway area. It looks so clean. Everything is all nice and spiffy and everything. So felt really good about it. I knew we were supposed to have rains coming this week, which is good. But one thing that happened when I was doing all this Saturday, I got up on the roof to blow the roof off, which I do. We got 2 roofs, the main house, and well, actually, we got 3 roofs. The main house, the cottage where the gallery is, and then the shop out back. That one I won't get up on top of again. That one was too scary. I haven't done that in a while, but So I get up on top of the roof of the main house and I hit my head on these little branches. And I was like, that's really kind of weird. That's not right. So I get up on the roof. Now, mind you, and I'm not old, but I am 62. um, got up there and I looked, and there's these 3 oak trees and a ginormous cherry laurel tree in this one corner that's really close to the house. It's where the back living room and the laundry room is. And one of the trees I noticed last year is growing really close to the house, like an inch or so, and it's going to grow into the house. So I was like, oh, okay, we're going to have these trees cut down, especially, hurricane season. So I got a quote last year, kind of been putting it off until Saturday when I saw what was happening. And I'm like, oh, crap. I mean, the cherry laurel tree, probably 6 to 8 feet from the top, broke, fell over, and is being held up by some branches of a couple of the oak trees. And that's kind of what I ran into with my head. So, hurricane season, oh crap. So I had to call the tree service. I knew first thing Monday morning, call the tree service. These have to come out. Fortunately, there's that one big piece is still up there, but so anyway, so we got that. He came out Monday morning. Quote was the same as last year. Okay, let's get these done. Can we get it done this week? So it'll be done this week. Okay, I think I can deal with that part of it. Go to a networking meeting over in Wesley Chapel, come back home, and one of my cats is really, really sick. Call the vet. Doctors have all gone home. Can't wait till morning. To have to take him up to the emergency vet. Unfortunately, like with anybody that has male cats, instead of getting a UTI, they get crystals, and he's totally blocked. Has to stay at the vet all night. Have to go get him the next morning, transfer him to the vet down here. And I took him to animal emergency or Hernando County. They were actually really, really great. But it's a half hour away. So you have to go up first thing in the morning to pick him up, transfer him back down here to the vet closer to us, and he's got to stay there until Thursday. So all this stuff is going around in my head, and I'm just like, oh man, this is like when I really need Bobby around. I mean, it was just a lot, just changes, doing things. It's just, I don't know. It was really starting to get to me. Took me a little bit of time to, as talking myself through this, that it's okay, and he's still there on my shoulder. I don't know if he's whispering good or bad things or what, but yeah, it's just sometimes it's just it gets overwhelming, and you just have to just take a breath and breathe deep and just kind of remember all the things that you've gone through already. And it's just another, I guess it's just another season that you got to get through, and you'll get through it, even though in the heat of the moment. Boy, when I was driving up to Spring Hill with Felix, during rush hour traffic going north here is bad. Trying to get him to the vet, and of course then traffic goes really slow and gets stopped at every stoplight. I thought I was going to lose my mind, which wasn't good for my cat, but we made it. He's going to be good. All his tests come back that no organ damage or anything, so just going to be a little bit of a few days healing process, and changing food for all of the guys so that it doesn't happen to them either. But anyway, going through and thinking about all this, it was just, and when I was writing up the stuff for the show, I was actually literally about just bust out bawling because I was just getting myself so overwhelmed. But and like I said, talk myself through it, take a great big deep breath and breathe, and this too shall pass, and we will get through it. So, and then thinking about the things that, like I said, that gone through a lot of stuff since losing Bobby, and we all do. And I talk to people every day, and was talking to a mother and daughter whose friend lost her son 2 years ago, and it just brings up emotions, and we all have to deal with stuff that's not so fun sometimes, but we can do it, and we can get through it. And think about, like I said, think about what you've done and how far you've made it, so far. For me this week, I mean, actually, it started last week before all this other stuff came up, and it was really an awesome week last week, and it ended up being a whirlwind. We had mentioned in the last couple shows that we had started our support group for lost survivors here in Pasco County, West Pasco, and so we were working on possibly starting a group in Hernando County, Spring Hill area. And so the gal, Kathy Goodman, that we took the training from AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, together, not knowing either one of us were going to be there, but it worked out super great. She wanted to start a group up there when I wanted to start a group up there. So we're working together so that she's going to be the facilitator. And we actually met last week for a couple hours and talked and kind of worked things out, what we were going to do. And I had gotten a lead for possibly a location, and from another gal. And so I called, and it was actually with Nami Hernando. And so I called Chad. We played phone tag for a day, and we hooked up on the phone, I think on Thursday, talked, and Kathy and I were talking about maybe we'd start this group, in July, the second or fourth Wednesday evening in July. We just kind of had like little bit of plans going, and we're hoping, to have a meeting with Chad. He's one of the directors there, and so he and I talked on the phone, and I mean, the universe works, and I need to remember this when I'm going through times like last week, but works in mysterious ways, seriously. Because when the day that I called him, someone in their community, I think one of their volunteers, her friend, son, took his life. And so this was like really new and raw that same week. And so he and I talked. He wanted to start the support group right away. And so we were going back and forth. I didn't have time to get a hold of Kathy, so made an executive decision. So now, beginning in July, actually July 10th will be the first meeting. We will have Survivors of Suicide Grief support group in Hernando County, Spring Hill, at NAMI Hernando office, which is really awesome. They actually had a grand opening ribbon cutting for the office Friday, and it's funny. I ran into like at least a half a dozen people that I know that I haven't seen in a bit. One of them is a guy from school. We went to Hodges University, and he's working now with the Hernando Sheriff's Department. So now I got contacts with them and meetings being set up with the Hernando Sheriff's Department. Um, so uh, my my head was spinning in a really super good way that Friday. Um, so it was really exciting, and Kathy was cool with that. When I contacted her and let her know, sorry, this just happened like really super fast because Chad wanted. I mean, he would have had us start the support groups that day. Um, so he wanted one or both of us to be at the ribbon cutting. I was able to be there. Kathy was busy. I took up the purple folders, um, so that they had those, and I met the gal that he told me about. So we gave her one of the purple folders to give to her friend, and it's just going. It's just working, and it makes it really really makes me feel really really good, because sometimes, and I've said, before, sometimes I feel like it's taken so long, and some of this stuff is it seems like sometimes I'm not going anywhere with it, but it's not true. And Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. So I was so happy about that. So now we have West Pasco support group will be, except for this past week, going forward, the third Thursday of the month throughout the year, and the Hernando Spring Hill support group will be the second Wednesday starting in July throughout the year. So yeah, we're excited about that. So we get these up and going really really good, which looks like that's what's happening, and hopefully in the next few months we can help get a group in West Pasco. The thing is, our counties, both Hernando and Pasco, our counties are so ginormous. The population here in Pasco is much bigger, so we really need to divide the Pasco for an east and west group eventually. But we're on the right path. We're going really good, and I'm really super excited about that. So, in order to do all this stuff, um, we need help, and we need to raise money. So, how do we do some of that? Well, of course, and we're in our 7th year for Art for Hope is our annual fundraiser. It's always in September, National Suicide Prevention Month, and we have it during National Suicide Prevention Week, which will be September 12th at the Hilton Garden Inn. And our Hope presenting sponsor, of course, is Area 52 Media Group. And we also, want to thank the Hilton Garden Inn for their support. We've held the event every year at their location, and they've done us. They're just awesome to work with, and they love hosting our event. We'll have lots of artwork, gift basket raffles. I think we'll have. I believe again we're going to have a lottery board raffle. So here's our sponsors that are coming up. So you can help sponsor too, and you get to have your name up there. So again, Hope presenting sponsor, Area 52 Media Group. Our new Dolly sponsor is the Rotary Club of the Nature Coast. And our Da Vinci sponsor, Precision Survey and Mapping, which that's the company that Bobby worked for many years. So if you want to sponsor Art for Hope, the sooner you sponsor, the longer you get your name up there, and get to all through all of our social media, promoting and everything. Anything that we do, we really try and promote the people that support us. It's a uplifting event. Um, I was down at the Center Club in Tampa last week, and there's this couple that plays plays music and sings when we have our business social, and they're really really good. And I was talking to them after I got there kind of late last week, and they were like, "Oh, if you have any events, we'll come and play." And so I was like, "Oh, as a matter of fact," but they happen to they'll be in North Carolina that weekend. But I have an idea. We have another guy down there I'm hoping to snag. He plays I think I got, for a better word, I guess the electric fiddle or something. He is so good. So, hopefully the next time I see him down there playing, I'm gonna approach him, seeing how the other couple, they would have done it. They were so excited about what we were doing, and they really wanted to be a part of it. So maybe next year they can be our music. We've had great music every year. Actually, I don't even think last year we had music. I think we just played music in the background because there was just so much, other stuff going on. But we try and switch it up a little bit. So that was really pretty cool. So, there's a lot going on. So even when I have, those bad moments, um, I can. It's kind of funny. I guess I'm beginning to see, you know, um, I don't know what the fruits of our labor. But it's not just me. I have so much help and so much support, and two of the people that I just mentioned earlier, DeLynn and John, who has been on this journey with me ever since the beginning in many different ways, and many other people. My neighbor, man, she had to talk had to talk me down and keep me sane with all this stuff with my animals because we're animal people. So that's just that's just what we do. So we're just going to touch on this just a little bit because I've been babbling so much about all this other stuff that I just want to keep it in the top of people's mind as we learn more about it and see what's going on. And that's with the national strategy for suicide prevention. We had gone through some of the first strategic directions, which is care, connect, and collaborate, which is one of my, that's one of my biggest things with this whole thing, and it always has been from the beginning. And that's one of the really super awesome things about us partnering with NAMI Hernando, because not only we get to be a part of what they're doing. They've built their program, and which as we start to be more involved with NAMI Hernando, we'll learn more about what they're doing because it was really kind of overwhelming what I was learning when I was up there for their open house. But they're basically putting together, which we do in Pasco in a different way with different organizations, but it's like a whole wraparound program. So there be many different services and organizations involved to help the community, so that there a lot of resources are going to be like in one location, um, so that we can help each other, refer each other, and it's like on goal 6 of this community-based suicide prevention: build and sustain suicide prevention infrastructure at a state, tribal, local, and territorial levels. That's what we're doing in Hernando County, and that's what we're doing in Pasco County, and actually that's what we're doing with different organizations in the Tampa Bay area, and it's really starting to gain momentum. We're working on the reducing access to lethal means for people that are at risk. So we're part of the Safer Gun program here in Pasco County, and we have information just flowing in and flowing in. So I can't wait until our next meeting next month to bring you some more information on what's happening with that, with the help of a program that is actually in place in Louisiana. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So there's just so much going on, and I'm really super excited about it. But I really want to get to our quote for today, because I needed it probably just as much as you all needed it. And it is: if you are struggling today, remember this: you have survived everything you've gone through up to this point. The best day of your life is still yet to come. There are still people you haven't met and things you haven't experienced. You can do this. I ran into this last night, or when I was doing up stuff for the show, and I was just like, I needed that probably just as much as you all need it. We all need it. We all need to remember that. So remember to put those numbers in your phone: 911, 988. Don't forget, there's always hope. Thank you.